ever since their defeat in Punjab earlier this year, the AAP has been dealing with one crisis after another, but this is perhaps the most serious yet because it involves a corruption charge against its leader Arvind Kejriwal. Today, the sacked AAP minister Kapil Mishra, who's in fact just been kicked out of the party as well, he had alleged that he saw Kejriwal taking 2 crores in cash from Health Minister Satyendra Jain. Now he took his attack a step further. He alleged that Jain helped Mr. Kejriwal's brother-in-law with a farmhouse deal and that 10 crores worth of false bills for the PWD were encashed by Mr. Kejriwal's brother-in-law. Incidentally, Mr. Kejriwal's brother-in-law died today and the Chief Minister was at his funeral this morning. That is how ugly the politics in Delhi has become. The AAP has called all of this a big conspiracy, called these baseless allegations. Kapil Mishra also met the head of the Anti-Corruption Bureau earlier today, who says that they're giving him time to submit details on his charges. Sonal Mehrotra has the latest on that story. Sonal, fast-paced developments today, but really ugly politics. The Chief Minister's brother-in-law died today. He was at the funeral, and hours later, there are these allegations that are surfacing where his name has also been dragged in.
Well, that's what made the AAP party really furious, and the PAC, which just ended minutes back, Nidhi, has suspended Kapil Mishra from the party. Now, his primary membership stands suspended. He's no longer a member of the AAP party. He's an independent MLA now. Well, his position had quite become untenable after the charges he levelled through the day. But he's made some very staggering charges, and I'll just point out the top 3 of them, Nidhi. Number 1, he says that Satyendra Jain aided his now passed away brother-in-law, Mr. S.K. Bansal, in acquiring a land in Chhatarpur worth 50 crore. Number 2, he says that he also helped him procure some 10 crore rupees of false bills from the PWD department. This also went into the kitty of Mr. Bansal, again, who's no more and passed away this morning after he was in the hospital for the past couple of days. And number 3, he says, in front of his eyes on Friday, Kapil Mishra says, when he came to meet the Chief Minister, he saw Satyendra Jain hand over 2 crores to the CM. So these are really serious charges. Kapil Mishra has gone ahead to call it war really with the Aam Aadmi Party, and he's saying that it's not just this. Even in the giving away of tickets, there was money which exchanged hands when it came to Punjab, also when it came to the MCD elections here in the national capital. What has he done about it?
Yeah.
Well, Mishra went to the ACB today, said that
sorry, Sona,
tomorrow he's going to be visiting with the CBI at 11:30.
But what isn't clear until now is what exactly the nature of his evidence is about this money exchanging hands between Satyendra Jain and Arvind Kejriwal. Those details are not clear at the moment. Sambit Patra Sabha Naqvi still with us. On the phone line with us, Adarsh Shastri, the spokesperson of the Aam Aadmi Party. Sambit, first let me just ask you, just on a purely different note, that it seems in rather poor taste on the day that Mr. Kejriwal's brother-in-law died, to have these kind of allegations levelled against him by Kapil Mishra today of all days. Perhaps it could have waited till a few days after his funeral?
I believe that is for Kapil Mishra to answer. But our heart goes out for anyone who has left this world. Well, this is a party which feels for every human being. And well, yes, let me also say that anyone's relative, even if he's Arvind Kejriwal's relative or anyone else's relative, we would wish that Bhagwan unki atma ko shanti de. Corruption cases, no corruption cases, these can be discussed in a different tangent, but definitely no politics on dead bodies. But having said that, this issue is a bigger issue. This issue deals with corruption cases levelled against Mr. Arvind Kejriwal, who in fact masqueraded as one of the most important fighters against corruption. But it appears to be contrary to what Mr. Arvind Kejriwal and his team had been claiming all this while, that they are fighting against corruption. And the charges do not come from an opposition political party. The charges come from home within. The charges come from one of his most senior cabinet colleagues. So when these charges are levelled by senior cabinet colleagues like Mr. Kapil Mishra, they become the point of discussion across the country, because Arvind Kejriwal had promised that he is there for alternate politics, but what appears today in the hindsight, that what alternate politics he was claiming was probably alternate corruption, what he meant.
But let me take what you said to Adarsh Shastri of the Aam Aadmi Party, and I apologize, our OB has broken down and we're just trying to fix that line with Mr. Shastri. But Mr. Shastri, the fact is that the Aam Aadmi Party has levelled allegations in the past against other political leaders, and the first thing that you demanded at that time was their resignation. Why doesn't the same principle apply to AAP and to Mr. Arvind Kejriwal? Should there be an independent probe into these allegations, and should he step down pending that investigation in the interest of probity?
There are two parts to it. We have demanded investigations against political demands who have taken money or allegations of corruption, because there has been some sanctity in the allegation. Here, Kapil Mishra is alleging fallaciously that Arvind Kejriwal took 2 crores from Satyen Jain on a day in which CCTV footage of Mr. Kejriwal's house will show us that neither Satyen Jain, neither Kapil Mishra even went there. So, the point is, if there has to be some justification to it. The Chief Minister's house is a high security zone. CCTV footage is available. Satyen Jain did not even visit that residence that day. Kapil Mishra did not even visit that residence that day. And
why don't you release that CCTV footage, Mr. Shastri? If you're saying that, Satyendra Jain didn't even visit the Chief Minister's house at that time that is being claimed by Kapil Mishra, then why not put that CCTV footage in public domain?
Because the security is the responsibility of Delhi Police. Already Delhi Police has been asked to release the CCTV footage, and it will be released maybe in the next 2 days. It is apparent that, Kapil Mishra or Satyen Jain did not visit the CM's house on the day in question. So this kind of a fallacious alleging something against Arvind Kejriwal is not acceptable. So the question of asking for him to step down for a non-biased probe does not arise.
Well, Sabha, how are you looking at this? Because you've been following the Aam Aadmi Party very closely. I mean, why is it unravelling so quickly, so fast? And, somebody like Kapil Mishra was actually the blue-eyed boy of the Delhi Chief Minister at one point, and it suddenly turned.
Nidhi, there are 100 things to find fault with Arvind Kejriwal. The wild allegations, the unnecessary cases, picking battles, the blaming EVMs without producing proof. There are 100 things. I'm having a little bit of trouble, I'll be very, very honest with you, with this guy who gets sacked, and 2 years he's sitting in government, and he gets sacked, and then he says 2 crores. Now let's produce the evidence. You're making a senior, it's somehow hard for me to buy this. His mother, meanwhile, who has been a BJP mayor or something, she goes and says that the soul is in the Sangh and my son will find his way. So let's be honest. I mean, the whole thing sounds very fishy to me. His charges, I'm saying, okay, have it investigated. He's been a minister. I agree with you, have it investigated. But what was he doing? If he was seeing 2 crores changing hands, why? I mean, for 2 years he was sitting down and being part of everything till he gets
he claims the 2 crores happened 2 days ago. But now he's saying that there was corruption in in ticket distribution during Punjab, during the MCD elections as well. And so I have the same question for him, Sambit, that why didn't he speak up? If he saw corruption in ticket distribution, why didn't he speak up earlier on that?
See, on these issues, Kapil Mishra can answer best. We do not stand forth for Kapil Mishra, but there are larger questions which need to be answered by the Aam Aadmi Party, which I would be putting over here. Number one, remember when the Aam Aadmi Party lost the MCD election, Mr. Arvind Kejriwal came out and what did he say? He said that we had worked really hard on the water front and we had made great supply of water across the Delhi, across all constituencies. So naturally today when we have lost the election, it is unbelievable and it is because of the EVM tampering. And then suddenly yesterday Mr. Manish Sisodiya, the Deputy Chief Minister, comes out and says, no, we are sacking the water minister, we are sacking Kapil Mishra because he had not done good work in the front of supplying water to every household in Delhi. So which is to be believed, their dichotomy within 1 week, within losing the Delhi election and then yesterday, 2 things have appeared over here. So naturally there is something which is wrong and fishy. Secondly, remember this is this Aam Aadmi Party AAP, for which I always say it is the abusing and accusing party of India. There's no one in this earth whom they have not abused and who have not accused. They had called for resignation of almost every leader because they used to hold press conferences every second day and they used to say that everyone is tainted and everyone should resign. On the same pretext, in fact, today we have their own members. It is not a Bharatiya Janata Party member. Their own member coming out and alleging a serious allegation against Mr. Kejriwal. So he should follow what he has preached.
That is true. But, for instance, in the Sahara Diaries case, the counter argument has been that shouldn't there have been a probe into that? That was also an allegation. Shouldn't that have been investigated? Even despite what the Supreme Court said. If you want, the Aam Aadmi Party to uphold itself to certain standards, should that not be followed by all political parties?
See, there is a difference between the Supreme Court and Mr. Arvind Kejriwal. You said that despite what Supreme Court had said, there should have been some kind of investigation. Why? The Supreme Court is the authority of this country. Mr. Arvind Kejriwal, I believe, is less than the Supreme Court. So despite what Arvind Kejriwal says, yes, there should be an investigation. But despite what the Supreme Court says, well, Supreme Court felt there was no need of investigation because things were settled. So please don't compare both these issues. And thirdly, and very importantly, Mr. Arvind Kejriwal and his company feels that there is interference of Bharatiya Janata Party into everything. Well, if his mother, Kapil Mishra's mother, was in Bharatiya Janata Party, as was stated by Shaba right now, who forced Mr. Arvind Kejriwal to elevate Mr. Kapil Mishra into an important rank in the party? Who forced him to make Mr.
I agree.
Kapil
I don't
Mishra
think the mother is the. I don't think the mother is the issue here. But Mr. Shastri,
we did not.
Yeah, let me ask
we
Adarsh
did not
Shastri.
tamper Arvind Kejriwal's mind in that.
Mr. Shastri is on the phone line with us from the AAP. Mr. Shastri, the point is, and you know, firstly, how you're saying that pretty much everything is the BJP's interference. Are you saying that the AAP has no responsibility on how it conducts matters in its own party? And as has been rightly said, in the past, you are the ones who have made, like I said in the beginning, Arvind Kejriwal has made allegations in the past and demanded resignations and probes. Why shouldn't this have an independent probe? This entire allegation. I think we've lost that line with Mr. Shastri. Would you say, Sabha, that at the very least, an independent probe should be there? Sabha? All right, I think we've lost the line with Sabha as well. Sambit, you and I can have a, I think you and I can have a conversation because there's like a massive technical failure. All right, Sabha, go ahead.
As far as probe is concerned.
Sorry, yeah, Sabha, I think she can hear me.
Line chala gaya.
Okay. Well,
all right. No, we do have a problem. All right. Well, I have to leave it there. Then my sincere apologies to our viewers tonight for those multiple failures.
Let me just complete this sentence.
Yeah, sure.
See, as far as probe is concerned, already certain facts have been mentioned to the ACB today regarding the tanker scam. That's what I gather from the statement of Mr. Kapil Mishra. And the second issue is, he has said in a press conference today that he is going with a closed envelope to the CBI tomorrow, which would be having certain other evidences. So surely once the CBI and the ACB have the evidences, they will move ahead with some kind of probe if they deem fit. So naturally, let's wait for the tomorrow.
All right, well, let's see how this story plays out. Clearly, the drama within the AAP isn't over yet. And again, my apologies to viewers for all our technical difficulties tonight. Thank you, Sambit, to Sabha, to Adarsh Shastri for joining us on the program.